and you were identified as the driver. You were asked, "What are you doing?" And you said, "I'm waiting on a buddy to get here." But that wasn't a buddy, that's your brother. Nobody, I've lived long enough. I don't call my brother, "Who is that?" "Oh, that's my buddy." I'd say that's my brother. You didn't. That's your first problem. What do you do right? All you do is you're committing all kinds of crimes.
Yes, sir. I do 13 when down to the hospital.
Shame on you. And you don't know how that happened? It was a miraculous event?
Yeah, because I
a miraculous event.
But I beat the wrong stuff.
In today's session with Judge Stevens, the spotlight is on two defendants who are struggling with the concept of complete honesty, despite having both agreed to plea bargains. Both defendants seem intent on downplaying their involvement, but in Judge Stevens' courtroom, there's no room for half-truths. The first defendant is caught up in a burglary case, yet he's now trying to paint himself as a victim of circumstance, claiming he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But Judge Stevens isn't buying it. Pleading guilty means accepting responsibility, not rewriting the narrative. And for the second defendant today, he is in hot water for a series of volatile encounters with law enforcement. His attempts to brush off these serious incidents aren't sitting well with the judge, who is clearly not impressed with this lack of accountability.
Now call the state of Texas versus Dorwin Alvin James McMillan. That's you. Present with your attorney, Mr. Dusar, and the state's attorney. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of the indictment and arraignment here? Can we proceed in study? Yes, in summary, sir, this indictment alleges that on or about April 14th of this year in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the second-degree felony of burglary of a habitation. Do you understand what you were charged with? If convicted, you face a term of not more than 20 years or less than 2 years in prison. In addition, a fine may be assessed not to exceed $10,000. Do you understand? An agreement's been reached in your case where you would be pleading guilty, sentenced to 10 years in prison. That would be suspended. You would be placed on regular probation for 10 years, fined $500, and restitution is owed in the amount of $1,000. Is that your understanding of the agreement? If I follow this agreement, you have no right of appeal of your case. Do you understand? How do you plead to this second-degree felony of burglary of a habitation? In this indictment, guilty or not guilty? Guilty. Are you pleading guilty? Oh, okay. This home that was being burglarized, did you know who lived there? Yes. Why would y'all choose that place?
Honestly, I don't know. I knew nothing that was going on, really. My brother asked me to drop him somewhere. I was on the phone. Cops pulled up from behind me, and they asked me, well, they had somebody called talking about somebody got out of the car and went, and my brother didn't let me know nothing he was doing. So,
okay.
And he's been convicted.
Did he know the person?
No, I don't think he did.
No. How was that person chosen at random out of 7 billion people on the planet? How was that? How was that chosen? And how did this happen? Oh, so you're driving.
Yes, sir.
And what did you do? Say stop?
No, my brother, he said he was going to his girlfriend's house, something like that. So. I had just woken up out my sleep. He told me to bring him some. That's all I knew I was doing, bringing him some.
So who was the other guy? Who was your buddy?
The one,
Yeah.
Yes.
That's your brother, right?
Yes, sir.
And he's been imprisoned, right?
Yes.
So, your story here, keeping in mind everything you say is taken down by the court reporter, everything we say here.
Yes.
And failing to be truthful and accurate only gets you in more trouble. Let's say. So, you're driving, and how did all of this happen? What happened? You're driving, and then what happens?
Driving, got to the destination. He told me he was getting out, going to do it. I don't know what he's going to do. So I said, all right, that's a bet. I'm on the phone with one of my friends. Cops pulled up from behind me. They say somebody got.
No. The other guy said, stop?
No. This was where he was going. He said he was going there. I said, okay, cool. I ain't never dropped him there.
Okay, what did he do? He gets out of the car and what?
I don't know what he did. He just went in there, and that was it.
He just went in the house?
Yes, sir.
You saw him go in the house, the front door?
I didn't see nothing.
Well, how did
he got out of the car? I just stayed on the phone. I didn't pay attention to nothing else that was going on.
Okay, here's the story, the real story. They get behind the vehicle, your vehicle, which is illegally parked on 18th Street. And you were identified as the driver. You were asked, what are you doing? And you said, I'm waiting on a buddy to get here. But that wasn't a buddy, that's your brother. Nobody, I've lived long enough. I don't call my brother, who is that? Oh, that's my buddy. I'd say that's my brother. You didn't. That's your first problem. Next. You were asked, why are you waiting here? And you told the police, I don't know. But you're the one operating the vehicle. You are the one who would know. But you don't know. You told them. Which is all deceptive. The officer could smell a strong odor of marijuana from the vehicle. You were asked to step out. They called dispatch, and you had multiple outstanding warrants out of the city of Nederland. So you had Class C misdemeanors, I guess, or greater, that you were in trouble for, that you hadn't taken care of. So they place you in handcuffs because of the outstanding warrants that you had not taken care of. Another problem, that is not responsible behavior. But here's what's interesting is when they pulled up behind you, they observed someone exit the car and jump a nearby fence, which is not the normal way people get into homes. It's normally the front door or the back door or the garage. But this is all indicating a burglary is in progress. While at the scene, they locate a male running from the back door, and he is your brother. Not just a buddy, he is your brother. They caught him and placed him in handcuffs, and then they transported y'all, looks like, to the jail, where you had to speak for the warrants. No, this is bad. This is all bad. Here's what we're going to do, though. You need me for something. Okay. Well, he says he's not guilty, and I don't.
I'm guilty. So I'm guilty.
You just said you weren't.
Yes, sir. I was in the wrong place, wrong time.
Under the law of parties, you understood.
That's not a crime to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
You understood that your brother was burglarizing the house, and you were there assisting him by driving him there. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm all statements you make during this hearing are the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Lower your hand. asking this question one more time under oath, under penalty of perjury. Thank you.
Under the law of parties, you knew that your brother was going to be burglarizing the house. You participated in it by driving in there and waiting in the car, knowing that he was going to be conducting a burglary of the house. Is that correct? And you're accepting responsibility under the law of parties that you are guilty of this offense as well as your brother.
And you've discussed all of this with your attorney here? All right. Anything else?
No, sir.
Then I'm going to find you were pleading guilty today voluntarily. You were mentally competent to do so. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading guilty. There's sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea from State's Exhibit 1 admitted to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this offense, a second-degree felony of burglary of a habitation. I am following this agreement. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 10 years. That confinement will be suspended. You are placed on regular probation for 10 years. You must pay restitution in the amount of $1,000. Also, a fine of $500 is assessed. There will be other terms and conditions of probation you must follow. If you fail to follow these completely, your probation can be revoked. You can be sentenced up to 10 years in prison. Do you understand? Did you take care of all those other arrests, outstanding warrants that they took you into custody for? Here's all right. Is Cesar Marin. That's you, sir? Cesar Marin Serrano. 20-34081 is called. You were here with Mr. Grove, your attorney and the state's attorney. There is a first amended motion to revoke probation in this, right?
Yes, sir.
Does the defendant waive a formal reading of this and we proceed in summary?
Yes, Your Honor.
In summary, this first amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation filed on September 1st of this year states that on August 12th, 2021, in this case, you were placed on deferred or unadjudicated probation for assault on a public servant. Is all of that true and correct? Takes one.
Counts two, Judge.
Two states that you committed the offense of taking a weapon from an officer on or about August 8th, 2023 in Kendall County, Texas.
Judge,
is that still pending?
Yes, sir.
Was he pleading true to that or not?
No, sir. I would ask the court not to let him plead for some of these other ones that are administratively.
Committed the offense of resisting arrest on or about August 8th in Kendall County.
He also has a urine test. He has not performed his community service hours. There are some other grounds, but I would rather not have him plead to take his weapon from an officer in Kendall County because I don't represent him there.
What's the deal on it? What's the deal?
The deal is 5 years.
5 years.
Well, this is serious. This is, I mean, a repeated allegation. Well, you pleaded true to this indictment, which was causing bodily injury to a peace officer. Now you've got on my watch here, while you were under this court's probation, taking a weapon from an officer and also resisting arrest.
Those are both out of the same incident. He was in a tussle with the officer there and resisting the arrest and taking his taser is what he did, Judge.
Well, that doesn't sound good to me. It sounds kind of like you can't, you fight with police officers and you don't respect authority.
Judge, I'm not trying to tell the court the entire thing, but there was also some indications from talking to the people in Kendall County that he had some mental problems. He'd be reported that he'd been taken to a mental hospital in San Antonio.
They did. They evaluated him, and he had been released. So I can affirm that's true. But I can also affirm from talking to the witnesses on this that they took every method to work with him, and he was just unreasonable. He was uncontrollable on that day, Judge.
Judge, I'm
Doesn't sound
concerned.
good.
No, sir. But I have talked to the officer. He is available to come for the hearing date. He knows that we have this agreement. He approves it. I'm asking the court to approve it. My preference is that he at minimum enter a plea to either count 2 or 3.
The one in this indictment?
No, the
ones out of Kendall County.
It
We got
was
a lot
out
of
of-
officers here involved in as victims, it sounds like.
I'm referencing my comments are about the officer out of Vernon. I have not recontacted the officers in regards to this agreement. I was in contact with them before I gave the probation offer that I did to Mr. Roebuck on this case originally.
And then there, not the least of which here is he's showing positive for cocaine.
Yes, sir.
Where was that?
That was here in Jefferson County after he was arrested and brought back to Jefferson County.
Okay, they brought him pretty quick.
I believe.
Brought him pretty quickly, and so he was in custody in Kendall County. Then they brought him here. Right.
He was in a mental hospital from August the 8th until August the 14th. And he was released when he came to report to us on August 17th.
Oh, okay. He was not. Okay. Well, how did he, on the assaults, what did he do, bond out?
Well, they took him into a mental health evaluation from this incident.
And then they just released him. They didn't pick him back up.
They picked him up and brought him back to the hospital. And then he was committed to the mental hospital.
I believe he was released from the mental hospital.
And then what did he do when he was released from the mental hospital?
His family brought him back here.
Yeah. And then he shows positive for cocaine on the way. He stops and gets him some cocaine.
Either that or it was in his system from the
For a week? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Well, Judge, he was, I don't know what he took. I don't know what.
I'm not naive
to
to
the
that.
hospital for a week. Judge, I just feel very reluctant because he does have that other charge.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that your charge is not serious because it is serious.
report?
Yes, sir.
No, he's looking at 20 years in prison. To me, I find
Yes.
that pretty
Let me find this, Judge. I thought I had
this is, but fighting with the police is ridiculous. Ridiculous. On probation, fighting. So you're on probation for it, so you quite naturally fight with the police. And then you're tested positive for cocaine. What do you do right? All you do is you're committing all kinds of crimes.
Yes, sir. I do cocaine when come to the hospital.
Shame on you.
Yeah,
Where'd you get your cocaine from?
No one.
Oh, okay. So you tested positive for cocaine and you don't know how that happened? It was a miraculous event?
Yeah, because I
A miraculous event.
But you know, I did the wrong stuff. Not apologize for.
Wait a second. Okay. He was on 5 years deferred probation before he even came to us for assault on a public servant. In this county?
I don't think that's right, Judge.
I don't believe that's correct. He had a prior DWI.
Did you check? Are you from around here? Are you a citizen of the United States? Are you a citizen of the United States?
No, sir.
No, Judge, this one that you're referencing, that's the offense that he's on probation for. All of those arose out of the same incident, and we resolved it as one probation.
No, that's not fine by me. No, and to compound it that you're not even a citizen of the United States. We welcome you, and all you do is assault police officers and take cocaine. No, shame on you.
Sir.
Shame on you. We'll set this for a hearing on motion to revoke probation hearing, and we'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. I'm not accepting the deal here on this.
Yes, sir.
This is not appropriate behavior for anyone, citizen or non-citizen, but you, shame on you for not following the rules. All right. I'm going to set it in 4 weeks. Tell me, and if you can't be ready, let me know.
Yes.
All comments, viewpoints, interpretations, and insights expressed in this video are for education and entertainment purposes. All individuals featured in the video are to be presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Please do not attempt to contact, locate, or engage with any individuals featured in the video.